Hello again, fellow adventurers. Welcome back to Pham Wildlife Photography. This time, I headed to the coastal wetlands of Baji and Kanza, two beautiful seaside provinces in southern Vietnam, hoping to capture the elusive painted snipe during their breeding season in the rainy months. Last year, I didn't get the footage I hoped for, so this year, I had high hopes, perfect timing, and more experience on my side. But as soon as I arrived, chaos struck. Construction vehicles rumbled through the land, machines digging up the earth. The sound was deafening, and the wildlife was in distress. I watched in awe as oriental predincoles, small and fragile, froze in terror, standing guard over their eggs on the ground. With each thundering machine nearby, they didn't fly away. Instead, they huddled closer to their nests, desperately trying to protect their future from the madness of progress. The birds' eyes were wide with fear, their tiny bodies trembling as they braved the growing threat. This land was once a sanctuary, with vibrant grasslands and shallow pools of water, a safe haven for wildlife. But now it's being carved up for factories, with large portions already marked for industrial development. What was once a peaceful home for birds like the oriental pradincole is rapidly being replaced by concrete and steel. Years ago, when the economy slowed, this land thrived. But now, with Vietnam's post-COVID economic boom, it's no longer a refuge for wildlife. The country is rising, but for these creatures, the future is uncertain. The rise of the economy may be a victory for people, but for the wildlife, it's a dangerous new world. After enduring the scorching midday sun in the open tussock grasslands, returning to my guest house in Barria Vung Tau was a much-needed relief, a moment of rest and satisfaction before setting out on my next journey in search of the elusive Greater Painted Snipe. From July to August, shallow water pools can be found around rice fields, salt fields, and mudflats in mangrove areas. Talking about painted snipes, these are wading birds with a striking appearance, especially in females, who play the main role in searching for a mate during the breeding season. Because of their unique beauty, I wanted to include them in my collection of bird footage. The best time to spot them is usually early in the morning or in the evening when the sun begins to set. While searching for the perfect opportunity to capture a close-up of a painted snipe, accidents can happen, like falling into a canal, as I did once. Fortunately, my camera equipment remained untouched. Though such incidents don't easily shake my confidence, they do cause some minor disturbances in my mind. I will try to find a proper location that gives me a good chance of spotting them up close from my camouflage tent. In busy farm areas, it is much easier to stay hidden simply by using a camouflage coat combined with a tripod. That setup should be effective because painted snipes are not particularly shy. However, getting a good close-up shot remains a significant challenge. Common birds can be easily found in rural farm areas. What makes them special is observing their behavior and interactions with people's daily activities. From water canals to mangrove sites, open water areas, and vast grasslands, there are plenty of interesting behaviors to witness, such as spotting a flock of starlings foraging for food. Not all birds are vegetarians, though. Hunting for fish in salt fields is quite common. While hiding myself to capture close-up shots, I usually apply a simple method, draping a camouflage coat over my camera and body. However, black-winged stilts are not always pleased when I approach from behind. These birds are extremely loud and serve as natural guards, alerting others whenever danger is present. One day, while exploring the salt fields with my friend, we discovered a painted snipe egg. These eggs are incredibly difficult to spot from a distance, or even up close, because the area is scattered with small, round snail shells that look just like them. We were lucky to stumble upon one. However, to avoid disturbing the nest, we carefully walked away and set up a spot nearby to wait. Unfortunately, we weren't lucky that time. It seemed the sun was still too hot for this whiting bird species to appear. Despite our long wait, the only visitor we had was a slaty-breasted rail, accompanied by an unfortunate black-winged stilt in foliage. As I was leaving, a few painted snipes suddenly flew past my car's headlights. It was already very dark. Bari and Kanza share similar habitats, home to waterfowl, migratory birds, farmland birds, and common small songbirds. Capturing them on camera helps me relax, not just focusing on painted snipes. I never return empty-handed while traveling between these areas, especially since both locations have government-protected wildlife sites in Vietnam. However, the weather in this tropical country is always unpredictable. During the rainy season, strong winds in the early evening combined with dark clouds usually signal an approaching heavy downpour. On another day, I returned to the grasslands and spotted an old friend, the great songbird of the grasslands, the skylark. Their unique ability to sing while soaring high into the sky is something I will never forget. Filming them was truly an amazing experience. and one more agile creature made my day. This species has an echoing call that fills the grasslands, making it hard to track them just by sound alone. It's the rain quail. Their ability to hide among the small plants is truly spectacular, a masterful sneaking technique. However, I was incredibly lucky to capture a curious one on camera. It's a moment I'll never forget, the haunting echo of its call lingering in the vast grasslands. What a quail! Continuing my journey, bouncing back and forth between these provinces, I revisited an old place my friend had once taken me to. It was the same spot where I had seen painted snipes flying over my car's windshield late in the evening after sunset. This time, I had high hopes. The moment I arrived, the field was filled with the echoing calls of painted snipes, something I had never experienced before. The salt fields were simply fantastic that day. The drying mud and the scorching sun signaled a changing season. Just days before, there had been open, shallow water, but now it was nearly gone. Watching these conditions gave me a sense of unease. Painted snipes are wading birds, thriving in shallow waters near thick grasses, whether in mangrove areas or rural salt fields like this. The ground was covered in bird tracks. It felt like a grand bird dance party had taken place the night before. Still uncertain, I set up my camouflage, positioned myself near a patch of tall grass beside the remaining shallow water, and waited for the sun to lower. There was a high chance a female painted snipe would appear. The Greater Painted Snipe is truly a stunning find. With its striking appearance and beautifully patterned feathers, it becomes even more captivating in flight, an ultimate shot that every bird photographer dreams of capturing. This is a female, distinct by her vibrant colors. In an unusual role reversal, she takes the lead in mating and then leaves the eggs for the duller-colored male to incubate until the offspring hatch, a true playgirl of the bird world. As seen here, the best time to track this elusive species is just after sunset, as it is primarily nocturnal or crepuscular. Its large, luminous eyes are adapted for low-light conditions, proving that this bird is most active when the day fades. For videography like this, compensating for the low light is essential. Keeping the aperture wide open not only enhances exposure, but also mirrors the wide, watchful eyes of the greater painted snipe as it comes to life in the twilight. And then, as the sun finally set, she was just there. A breathtakingly gorgeous female painted snipe, as if she had been waiting for me all along. Only when the sun had disappeared did she reveal herself, just like something out of an old folktale. I couldn't believe my eyes. After an entire year of waiting for this moment, there she was, a striking, elegant beauty standing just a few steps away. As I packed up my gear, without rushing this time, the salt fields fell into complete silence. It was as if the grand performance of the painted snipe had brought everything to a standstill. This was a moment worth sharing, a story I wanted to tell everyone I knew, a moment of wonder, one that I would treasure through all my adventures in birdwatching, capturing the incredible beauty of the wild in its natural habitat. Bari and Kanza, changing rapidly due to development, growing for the better, and improving people's lives. I can clearly see the environmental changes. The local residents are always aware of wildlife, but understandably, their focus is on their own lives, their families, and their children. In the end, at least I know these places well. Maybe I'll return next year for another story, to see what has changed, to find out if the birds are still there. But for now, this is it. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this birding story about my search for the painted snipe.